said that a man that takes care of another man's child is weak. That's what you said. Can you please explain why?
That's not your child. That's not your responsibility. Your intentions may be in the right place, but it's not. You're not going to benefit from it. It is very rare. I know y'all love to use Shaq as an example. Shaquille O'Neal, I think he wasn't raised with his biological father.
Oh yeah, right.
But how often does that happen? That's very rare. And even so, children deserve both of their biological parents, which is why it's imperative for both men and women, but mainly women, because there's more women out here with children out of wedlock than men. Pick the right person the first time.
So now, what if that doesn't happen?
I don't know what to tell you.
No. Because you can't say. So you're saying that every man that takes care of another man's child is weak?
Yes.
It is impossible for every man to grow up. Well, right now, as we're talking, every man does not have a man in their life. Mm-hmm. Or every child and every boy and every girl does not have a man in their life. Mm-hmm. So who's supposed to take that role as the man in that life?
The biological father. If the biological father is not there,
then
maybe I could give leeway for if the father died. Maybe if the woman's a widow, maybe it's not nobody's fault that the man passed away. But even that is rare. It's rare that a man is taking care of a child because the biological father is dead. You have a child. Kids are expensive. Yeah. Well, I don't see the point of taking all of your hard-earned money and investing into somebody else's DNA. And then statistically, children who are raised by step-parents, they don't turn out any better than children who are raised by single parents. Blended families have a very high failure rate.
From, though,
I didn't. But it's true though. But it's true. Children usually turn out better on average.
All right. Zilla, thank you for waiting patiently, Mr. Story. The floor is yours. Go ahead, brother.
Hey, Zilla, tell him your catchphrase.
No, man, listen. I gotta yeah, I do come in here trolling a lot. So I agree with what she said to a certain extent, and then some of it I don't agree with. I mean, I am a father myself. So what I agree with is the fact that when you invest into a child that's not yours, there's not much you can get a return off of besides watching that kid grow to be, a successful person in society. So if you're not going to be with that woman for the rest of your life, or at least till that kid gets to adulthood, there really won't be no benefit unless you just want to pour your resources into something that isn't going to be fruitful for you. So, and I say that, like I said, as a man who is a father, I'm also a father with full custody of my daughter. I've had my daughter since she was 5 years old. And she's been in my house ever since. She'll be 11 this year. And ultimately, when a woman comes into a situation in my home or in a relationship with me, she is not expected to pay anything. She is not expected to play a motherly role. My daughter has a mother. The only thing she's gonna be responsible for is my feelings and our feelings and what we're building or whatever we're doing. So when a man jumps into a relationship with a woman, that ain't the case. That man has to bring something to the table. That man has to be some type of asset to this woman or that child, for the most part, when it comes to being, a man that stepped into a situation where she has children. It's rare that a woman's going to say, hey, you could just deal with me. We can have these sexual experiences and all that, but you don't have to have a relationship with my kids, right? Like you'll never see anything like that. And the women that will allow something like that to happen, they got something psychologically wrong, right? That just isn't a normal thing to want people to have a connection with you, but not your children. So if you are a man who don't have children and you can make a choice, I would tell you, don't choose a person that already has children, because your resources, the things that you worked hard for, when you go and you pour that into something that won't not return for you unless you plan on really, really being there, it's just a waste. And that's just the honest to God truth. And it's not to say that women who have children are less than women who do have it. It's just that when we talk about time and all this, I want to go on vacations at a moment's notice. I don't know a lot of single people that can just leave their job and leave what they got going on to just go on vacations. But that seems to be the talking point when everybody talks about availability and parents have to get babysitters and all these other things. And it's a variable, but I don't know people who are taking that many vacations in their life that they can just stop what they're doing. I don't know a lot of single people that can do that. So I hate that people who have children keep having this situation where people want to say, oh, you got a kid, you can't just stop and drop and leave and go somewhere. Go somewhere and do what? Make some money, just go on a vacation. What are we stopping what we're doing to do? You know, it's always some recreational act that people want you to stop your life for when it comes to this whole let's just go on a vacation at a moment's notice. I hear a lot of women have that as a talking point. It's a little annoying, especially for us men in society who make a decent living. And I do travel a lot, and I travel for work too, but it still doesn't, it doesn't make sense that that's somehow a benefit to a woman that I can just leave at a moment's notice and go somewhere. Like, how does that shit make sense? So I'm just gonna say this, and I'll wrap it up. If you are a man and you really, you need to understand that when a woman has a child with somebody, you got to understand the dynamics of that man who is the father of that child. Is that man there in the home? Is he part of anything? Is he disrespectful to her? Do you have to step in and correct him? Is that child disrespectful? It's a lot that go into it, man. And it's not just about dating her. You have to understand the dynamics of her upbringing. It's a lot. So when y'all dealing with these women, you got to understand them, especially if you don't got no children, man, because you making a life, almost like a life altering decision to do that, because you never know, you might put a baby in this woman, and now you know what I'm saying, you could have made a family and had a family and started with 3 kids with one woman and had only one woman and had your own children. Not to say that other kid isn't as important as any other child, but I mean, if you want to start your own legacy, your own family, ideally you don't want that person to have a child outside of you, because you can't parent that child the way you can parent your own kid. You may love them, but you'll never love them the same way that you love your own child. So I mean, I just don't see the benefit, in my opinion. But I mean, men are different. I guess it depends on your upbringing. I was raised by a single mother. It doesn't mean that I feel like I'm not sympathetic. It's just I've been through it. I took care of kids that weren't mine, and I didn't waste money, because they all have, I have conversations with all of them now. They're a little bit older now, but it just, you got to be a different type of guy to be dealing with some stuff like that. And if you're a young man, that ain't something you should be signing up for. Not if you don't have to. That's just my opinion.
And I want to say something before I let Miss LW speak, because I didn't get an opportunity to say this in the first live before they cut me off. Um, I haven't even brought up the men that they'll get with a woman that's a single mother, and she got like 2 3 kids, and he doesn't even like get a kid out of it, but he's in a relationship with this woman for several years, you know um assuming that stepfather role, pouring into her children. And then when she wakes up one morning and doesn't want to be with him anymore for whatever reason, that man saw all the money, all the time that he invested into her and her kids. That man literally got nothing out of it at all. So there's that's not a good like if obviously nobody knows tomorrow, nobody knows what's gonna happen an hour from now, but I mean, I don't know, guys. Like they say like a smart person. What they say, a smart person learns from their mistake, and a wise person learns from the mistake of others. Like, there's a lot of things in life that I don't know. People just like, the stove is hot. You shouldn't touch the stove when it's hot, but you want to go touch it to see if it won't burn you. Like, why even possibly subject yourself to being burnt? Why not just avoid the situation in entirety? Go ahead, Miss Cutie.
The guy that I'm dating without kids, he said that's the reason why he didn't have kids, because he see how his friends and his cousins go through baby mama drama and all type of stuff, divorces, and he said that scares me. I don't even want to bring a kid into this world. So I guess it's that bad, that some people say forget it. Like I don't even want to reproduce, which is sad, because I see that, when he sees his friends' kids, he'll have a comment, but you shouldn't be scared to see yourself. I try to tell him, I'm 39, so I still can have children. But I do try to tell him, like, kids can be a blessing. You know, you just got to pick. It may not be with me. It may be with somebody else. But don't just because what somebody else is going through, that may not be your story. We all got a different story. You can learn from other people's situations. You just know not to make that mistake or not to make that move, but don't stop your life. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, don't stop your life. Like, I don't know. Somebody like, if as a man, if you believe in marriage and you want to have kids within marriage, I don't know why a man would be afraid of reproducing. But like I said, like, there's men that don't even get a kid out of the deal. Like, you met this woman, she was a single mother, you got in a relationship with her, you've been in a relationship with her for several years, you didn't even get a kid out of the situation. Like, how did you not even get your own kid out of the situation? Um, and you invested all that time, all that money, and like, what, and like, I know LW, like, if you want, like, y'all gonna get opportunity to address Rebel, but like, some of the things that Rebel said was true. Like I was saying in the first live, like, a real man, like, decides to date a single mother, it is not, you don't just have a relationship with her. Her and her kid or her children come as a package. So yes, you're gonna be buying Lil Keenan the new Jordans. You're gonna be putting him on a basketball team. You are going to be putting him on a football team. You're going to be putting him on the baseball team. You're going to be putting her daughter in ballet and gymnastics. You are going to be investing your hard-earned money to doing those things. So, but like, what are you getting out of it at the end of the day? When she wakes up, when she wakes up 4 or 5 years from now, and she don't want to be with you anymore, what did you get out of it as a man? And if you didn't get a kid out of it, you didn't get anything out of it. There was no benefit. Like, I don't know how anyone can even argue against that. What you got to say, Miss Cutie?
Well, it's an individual situation. Like the guy I'm dating, we going out to Utah tomorrow because my son playing at the NBA All-Star game. So he gets some benefits by dating me. You know what I mean? Like, you gonna get to meet, the NBA players that's at the All-Star game. If you wouldn't date me, you wouldn't have that opportunity. And I'm a single mom with kids. We going to see my son play. It's Grambling and Southern playing. So, I mean, it's individuality. Some people come with resources. Remember that one Medea movie where, what is it called? Where the boy was playing basketball, the daddy didn't want nothing to do with him, but the recruiter ended up getting the mama. Some men benefit off of it, believe it or not. They do, depending on the situation. Now, would I get with a chick and her kids bad as hell, and I'm just trying to stick it in because she got some good? No. Make sure if you did get in that situation, that you make a benefit out of it.